I'm kind of a nerd about this. In this chapter, we'll cover furniture layout. So we're still here in our bedroom. It's an empty room. We haven't brought any furniture in yet. I like this part of the process because it's like working on a puzzle. It can get very technical depending on how far you take it, but I'm going to show you simple steps so that you can make your own furniture arrangement and draw a simple floor plan. What I'll do first is just assess the space and figure out where the opportunities are for key pieces of furniture, the activities that happen in here. You know, what's interesting about a bedroom is that it's a pretty specific kind of space. It's not like a living room where lots of different things are happening. In a bedroom, this is a place to rest. This is a place to retreat to. Think through your daily rituals of waking up and then winding down at the end of the day, and consider those as you're thinking through furniture placement. When I'm first considering furniture layout in a room, I like to observe the architecture in the space first. So that's really just noting where are the doors and windows, where do you anticipate flow of traffic happening as it relates to those doors, and then considering, okay, within those constraints of your space, how does the furniture fit into it? So I know that I've got these windows here, and the most obvious place to place the bed would be on this wall. And after all, this is a bedroom. The primary function of the space is centered around the bed, where you're sleeping and resting, and everything else in the room can kind of build out from that point on. So storage, seating, a place to get ready in the morning or to wind down in the evening, that can plug in other parts of the room after you've established where is the bed going to live. So in our space, we have hardwood floors, and I know that in the morning, I like to put my feet down on something soft, so we will have a rug in this room. Rugs come in pretty standard sizes for the most part. You've got 5x8, 8x10, 9x13. It goes up and down from there. I'm going to measure out a 9x13 because I think that'll fit this space really well. Now, you may not want a rug in your room, and that's perfectly fine. Maybe you have carpeting. You know, you can actually put a rug on top of carpeting. So think about that. But depending on what you need for your space, go ahead and measure it out. Just double check because you'll save yourself some mistakes down the road. We have a small closet over here. It's very small. This is an old house. Most old houses don't have giant closets. So that'll definitely work for storage, but I think we'll need a bit more. And then over here, this is actually where our bathroom is. So thinking through the flow of traffic here, I know there'll be lots of in and out. I probably want to place my furniture so that it's a really easy thing to pass through this space and go to that side of the room. This door here leads to a hallway where our laundry room is. It leads to other parts of the house. Another thing I know about this door is it will be our main entry to the room. So this is where we'll be coming and going from the space primarily. I need another piece of storage in this room, and when I look around, there are a couple options. This is where I could test these ideas on paper later on. But for now, just walking around the space, my first impression is that this wall over here could be a great opportunity for a chest of drawers or maybe a chair, something over there. Other than that, I think I'll keep it pretty simple. A bedroom is, after all, a pretty singular space as far as function goes. It's not like a living room where there are lots of different things happening. So that means your furniture can be a bit simpler. There are fewer pieces. Maybe all you have in your space or all you need in your space is a bed and a table beside it. So really consider your own individual space. What do you have room for? And then what do you need? What do you actually envision happening in that room, and what kind of furniture will support that? Once you've taken time to walk your space and really consider function and needs, then you can move on to floor plan. And I'll show you how to do that easily. You don't need much to do this. Graph paper so that I can plot out sizes easily. Some sort of straight edge so that I can draw straight lines easily, and then a pencil because you will make mistakes and you will want to erase them. First things first, I'm going to draw the shape of the room. So this space is a pretty even square, I think, which makes it simple. And as I'm doing this, I'm not worrying about exact dimensions. This won't be exactly to scale. It's meant to be representational and really just a reference point. So once I've finished outlining the basic shape of the room, then I like to go back and erase out all of the architecture like doors and windows. So I have French doors on one side of the room, and I'll just draw little tick marks to show where the edge of that door is and then erase the middle. This is really just to give you a general framework for the architecture of the space and then how furniture can live inside of it. Then we have this door over here, which will be our main point of entry and exit. So then I just erase that. And then there's this tiny closet over here, very small. All right, and then the last thing are these windows that sit to the right and left of this wall over here. It's really helpful when you have doors and windows to distinguish them differently, to draw them with the door and the swing, just so you can remember, okay, yes, a door will be opening here, and this is kind of the space it will occupy. Each one of these architectural moments will require their own set of considerations. So windows, I'll think about not putting furniture that would cover those up. For doors, I'm going to leave room so that it's easy to get in and out of them. So each of these things is important to consider at the beginning before you start drawing furniture in. When I'm drawing on the graph paper, I'm really just drawing the outline of the space to show architecture. So I'll outline this in marker just so the line weight is darker and I can see it more easily through the trace paper. But then everything else I draw will be on trace paper so that I can work through versions, because that's the experimenting part. So this is just a rough outline of the room. It represents all of the architecture of the space that I would need to consider when placing furniture. Next, I'll get out my tracing paper, lay it over top, and start working through furniture options. All right, the biggest piece of furniture in your bedroom is probably your bed, so that's where I'm gonna start. It's the centerpiece of the room. It makes the most sense to place that first and then build everything else around it. I measured for a queen because I think that's what we want in our space. And it almost fully fills this middle wall between the two windows. It'll just nestle in there really nicely. Let's see. So even as I'm starting with this very first piece of furniture, I'm observing how it lives in the room and imagining how we would move in the room as well. So where is flow of traffic going? Are we most likely following this path or that path, and kind of plotting that out in your mind? Now that I've placed the bed in the room, I know what wall it's living on. I'm gonna draw in the rug just to plot out where that will live. I know that it extends a good amount into the space, well past the bed, which is great. I wanna have lots of rug around the bed to be able to put our feet down on. When we wake up in the morning, feel something soft at our feet. Storage. Let's think about this. I have a few options. I definitely know that this long wall could accommodate something large. I don't know what that will be exactly. I don't have an existing piece like that. Maybe it's a dresser that really stretches the length of the wall, or it could be a wardrobe. Whatever it is, I can measure the wall and note that somewhere so that as I'm shopping, I know at least the max dimension that I have to work with so that I don't purchase something larger than that. And I can also have a framework for what might feel too small on that wall. Okay, so I placed this chest of drawers right here because that wall could fit something like that. But all of a sudden I'm realizing I failed to consider nightstands. And I don't think I'm gonna have enough room for a nightstand and a chest of drawers right there. So I need to scrap that. The reason I like using tracing paper is it helps me feel like I can make a mistake and fix it if I need to. Doesn't mean I'm gonna crumple it up every time, but I don't know, there's something about this that makes it feel less permanent, and I feel more freedom to make mistakes, try out versions. Okay, so nightstands on the right and the left of the bed, and then chests of drawers will probably need to live over here. Now that I'm looking at it, I can see this wall could fit some kind of furniture. It'll need to be skinny though, because we've got this door right here. I know this is gonna be an existing piece. We already have a chest of drawers. It's a quality piece of furniture, and I think it will work with the rest of the style of the space. So that means I have dimensions to work with, and I can just get those dimensions, measure them out, and make sure that this will work here in this corner. So start with the most essential pieces of furniture first, and then layer in things that might be just nice bonuses. And you know what, when I'm thinking about this, because I know that our French doors will probably be closed most of the time, I think there's actually more room here next to the bed than I originally thought. I bet I could fit a leaning mirror right here. This will be part of daily routine of waking up in the morning, getting ready. And then I actually wonder if a small little chair, something that just sort of tucks in the corner, could go over here on this side. It's just nice to have a seat in your bedroom. You can put your shoes on or sit and talk to someone, maybe throw some clothes in the corner every once in a while. And I think I have space for it here. I feel pretty confident about the decisions that I've made here, so I'm gonna outline in Sharpie the things that I added to my base floor plan. All those rough edges of your various sketches and versions as you're testing out ideas, when you draw it with a marker, it kind of erases all those mistakes. So there's my finished floor plan. That's how I think about furniture layout. I start first by considering the function and needs of the space. I walk the room, I look at the architecture, think about flow of traffic, and then I put pen to paper to test those ideas, and I draw out a floor plan. I hope now you have a bit more knowledge and hopefully some confidence to create your own furniture layout for your bedroom.